Sometimes called the Princess of Dots, Yayoi Kusama is a Japanese artist known for her bright, colorful polka dot artwork. She puts dots on everything, from couches and pumpkins to mirrored rooms and even her clothing. Kusama's dots represent all of us coming together. You will create a flower based on some of her paintings. I'm going to show you two ways to make the background. The first involves 2 pieces of white paper, oil pastels or crayons, either or, and watercolors. If you do not have watercolors, you can instead use a colored piece of paper as well as 1 white piece of paper and markers, crayons, or oil pastels. You'll also need a glue stick and scissors. Starting with the white piece of paper for your background, you'll take either a crayon or an oil pastel, and you're going to begin making straight lines that create different sized triangles. You do not need to spend too much time making any of your lines perfect. I'm kind of just drawing and making them connect as I go. I'm not really following any pattern. So do not spend a bunch of time trying to get your background exactly like mine. Just draw a bunch of triangles. So I'm just starting in one space and I'm just drawing a bunch of lines coming out from it and making sure I close them off. This may take a little bit of time. You can make the triangles as big or as small as you would like. When you have finished your background triangles with oil pastels or crayons, you'll use watercolor, waking them up now, to finish coloring in your triangles. We're using a process called watercolor resist, which means the wax and the oils in your crayons and oil pastels are pushing the water away and making sure that that spot does not get colored by the watercolors. This way, we're not painting over the triangles to cover them up. They are still going to show when we add our watercolor on top. Be sure to color in your entire paper if this is the technique you're using. I'm going over it with 2 different colors and kind of blending them together with the water as I go. You can pick any colors you want. You do not have to ever use the same colors that I'm using. When you are happy with your colors and it's been completely filled, allow it to dry. The second way to make your background is to use a colored piece of paper instead of watercolors. So just like before, I'm going to start making triangles on my paper. They do not have to follow any kind of pattern, but I don't need watercolor because I've already filled in my triangles. Use whatever works best for you. Here are the 2 backgrounds I made. When you have yours, we'll move on to our flower. I'm going to show you 3 different designs for flowers, all based on Kusama's artwork. You can either follow along and draw all 3, then pick your favorite to cut out and use for your final project, or you can watch the video, pick your favorite, and go back to the one that you most like. It's up to you. I will announce when the new flower begins. Just remember, you'll also be cutting this flower out. So make sure you draw something that you can easily cut out. I can't wait to see which flower design you pick. Here's the second flower design. And last but not least, the third flower design is a tulip. Here are 3 different flower designs based on Kusama's paintings. When you picked the one that you like best to work with, you're going to start adding dots all in the flower, on the stems, and any leaves that you see. You can use colors that either match with the flower, or you can do something different like black dots on the stem, however you want to fill in your flowers. Just make lots and lots and lots of dots. The more, the better. I'm going to quickly fill my flower in, but you pause here to finish your dots. When you're ready, fill the rest of your flower in with crayons. That way, the dots are still visible underneath the crayon. Color it all the way in. When you're ready and your flower is completely colored in, use your very best scissor skills to cut your flower out. I like to hold my scissors in one direction, so they're facing away from me, and I move the paper around to make it easier for me to cut. Do your very best. It's okay if there's still some white showing. When your flower is completely cut out to the best of your ability, you are going to flip it over, and I use a white piece of paper underneath just so the glue doesn't get on my black background, and glue all the way around the edges. Make sure you add glue to the stem. Then put it on your background, whichever one you chose, and you're done. There are your Yayoi Kusama inspired flowers.